Welcome to this week's edition of the Draft Utopia NFL Digest. Make sure to check out the brand new draftutopia.com website because we're focused on putting a lot of updates in. We've got Sports Rock Utopia, College Football Utopia, a talk show podcast archive where we're going to put all the best podcasts on talk show into a database so you can just go to our site and get links to those podcasts on talk show so you can help the other podcasters on talk show like Seattle Sports Hub, Zane Sports, Speculation Sports. Those other podcasts get more listeners, and you can check those shows out as well. And Sports Rock Utopia is going to cover Slippery Rock sports, and we're going to add different events, try to get some mock drafts in, but we're going to focus on main headlines and what's trending for now because there's just a lot going on. And this week, the Heinz Field Lions-Steelers game took place. Bobby Rainey made it rain at Raymond James Stadium and a rematch of Super Bowl 38 on Monday Night Football. You got to tip your hat to the Carolina Panthers. Not only did the Panthers deserve to win the game, they delivered in the clutch. And that's coming from somebody that watched our team win Super Bowl 38. We took it from Jake Delhomme, and it was fun, but that's why Cam Newton's the guy. He did what Delhomme couldn't do. He beat the Pats. So, yep. Colts-Titans. Titans get off to a hot start thanks to the rushing of Chris Johnson and the run blocking of right guard Chance Warmack. And early in the game, Warmack just paved the lanes, opened things up, and Johnson was able to capitalize on that with 2 rushing touchdowns early in the contest. And second half, Luck tries again. Luck gets a rushing touchdown, and the Colts gain their first lead of the entire game. Colts won 30-27. Credit the Titans secondary from keeping Andrew Luck from throwing a passing touchdown. You got guys like Alteron Werner, Bernard Pollard, Jason McCourty that cover well. They make plays happen. Jets-Bills, last time these teams met in New York, E.J. Manuel felt the rapture of 8 sacks, courtesy of Rex Ryan's playbook. What happened this time in Buffalo? What happened in the first quarter? Nothing happened in the first. Second quarter, stuff happened. It started with Dan Carpenter's 40-yard field goal. Then E.J. Manuel threw a touchdown pass to T.J. Graham, 10-0 Bills. Geno Smith did a lot better. Right, wrong. Geno finished the game 8 for 23, 103 passing yards, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Very forgettable afternoon by the rookie quarterback from West Virginia at Ralph Wilson Stadium. Bills won 37-14. E.J. Manuel 20 for 28, 245 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and no picks. Kiko Alonso, 13 total tackles at middle linebacker. Aaron Williams and Jarius Byrd made things happen in the secondary at safety. The middle of Buffalo's defense was mentally focused. The mental focus on defense along with Manuel's play at quarterback led to a Bills win. Ravens-Bears, 2-hour rain delay followed by an intense game that went to overtime. Some guy named Gold guides Chicago to a victory in the Windy City. And it's 38-yard field goal. Ravens go back to Baltimore, 2 games below 500. Browns-Bengals. Billy Cundiff, 2 field goals in the first quarter. Browns fans are thinking, okay, we're going to go to 5-5. We're going to beat the Bengals again. We're going to sweep the Bengals. That's not how it happened. Andy Dalton, he throws a pick 6 to Joe Hayden. And you're thinking, okay, since Cleveland's up 13-0, they cannot lose this game. And Joe Hayden does deserve a game ball even though the Browns lost because A.J. Green was held to 2 receptions for 7 receiving yards. Plus, he got the pick 6 off Andy Dalton. So, yes, Joe Hayden gets a game ball for not winning. But the Cincinnati Bengals, they were outraged. They were furious. Marvin Lewis was more disgusted than Mike Tyson in The Hangover after Cleveland's 13-0 lead. Dalton responded well by throwing a 25-yard pass to Jermaine Gresham. Bengals tight end got the Bengals back in the game. Mohamed Sanu puts the Bengals up 14-13. Tony Dye returned a block punt for a touchdown, and now the Bengals lead 21-13. Bengals led 31-13 at the half. Cincinnati drops 31 unanswered in the second quarter. Bengals win 41-20. Raiders-Texans. Matt McGloin, the Penn State quarterback, the former Penn State product, made his first start for the Oakland Raiders after having to qualify for the roster spot by competing against guys like Tyler Wilson and Terrell Pryor. First quarter, McGloin to Denarius Moore. Raiders get a touchdown and gain a 7-0 lead. Later in the first, McGloin to Rod Streeter. Raiders up 14-0. Later in the third, 26-yard touchdown to Michal Rivera, former Tennessee Volunteers tight end. McGloin 18 for 32, 197 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns. Raiders win 28-23, and Matt McGloin outduels Case Keenum in Reliant Stadium. McGloin did well in his first start, and you've got backup offensive tackles. You don't really have that many quality receivers. Rashad Jennings really stepped up and asserted himself as a leadership guy with his 152 rushing yards on the ground. Cardinals-Jaguars, Danny Noble put Jacksonville on the board with a 62-yard reception. That would be his only reception of the game. Carson Palmer to Larry Fitzgerald. Arizona equalizes the game thanks to Fitzgerald's receiving touchdown in the first quarter. Maurice Jones-Drew helps the Jaguars regain the lead late in the first quarter. Second quarter, Arizona obtains a rushing touchdown. Rashard Mendenhall, 5-yard run. Arizona ties the game at 7. Jay Feely, 21-yard field goal in the third quarter, allows Arizona to take the lead. Michael Floyd with a 91-yard receiving touchdown from Carson Palmer, 24-14 Cardinals. Arizona wins 27-14. And Michael Floyd, 6 receptions, 193 receiving yards, and a receiving touchdown. Floyd did a fantastic job on Sunday when he lined up as Palmer's primary receiver. Usually Larry Fitzgerald plays that role. On Sunday, Floyd showed the Cardinals organization that they can count on his receiving skills. And it makes you wonder if the Cardinals are going to trade Larry Fitzgerald, because there's all these hot stove rumors that it's going to happen this offseason. It's finally going to happen, but I don't think they're going to trade him. But you're giving Michael Floyd that number one receiver role to test him out to see if he can be a leader, and he steps up and delivers. So that's really exciting news for Cardinals fans. Eagles-Redskins, Nick Foles with a 4-yard rushing touchdown. LaShawn McCoy had 2 1-yard rushing touchdowns. Eagles won after scoring 24 unanswered points before the Redskins got their first points of the game. 2 2-point conversions by Robert Griffin III, throwing passing touchdowns, leading by example in the fourth quarter. It's not enough because the Eagles established boundaries early in this contest when they dropped 24 unanswered on Washington in the first 3 quarters. Eagles win and go to 6-5. Michael Vick and Nick Foles can call themselves winners against the Washington Redskins this season as the Eagles sweep Washington. They did it in Lincoln Financial, and then they gave Washington the encore at FedEx Field. Lions-Steelers, Ben Roethlisberger, 34-yard pass to Antonio Brown. Steelers lead 7-0. Brown scored again in the first quarter. Brown finished the day with 7 receptions, 147 receiving yards, and 2 receiving touchdowns. Brown did a hell of a job torching Chris Houston in the coverage. Steelers led 14-0 after 1. David Akers with a 35-yard field goal. Sean Sweesom hits a 25-yard field goal. Calvin Johnson with a 79-yard reception from Matthew Stafford. 17-10 Steelers. Sweesom hits a 34-yard field goal before Calvin Johnson scores another receiving touchdown. Detroit adds 10 more points and leads 27-20 at halftime. Sweesom, 21-yard field goal, 27-23 Lions after 3 quarters. Fourth quarter, Wesley Johnson with a 1-yard pass to Ben Roethlisberger. Steelers regain the lead, up by 3 points. Kotry, 20-yard receiving touchdown from Roethlisberger. Steelers win 37-27. Epic game by Ben Roethlisberger. Without a doubt, Pittsburgh's best game in terms of pass protection. Brown got things started. Detroit had 27 unanswered points. The resilience of Pittsburgh pays off. And Pittsburgh is now 4-6. They're right in there with Baltimore and Cleveland. Atlanta and Tampa Bay. First quarter, Ryan Lindell, 30-yard field goal. Buccaneers lead 3-0 after 1 quarter. Second quarter, Matt Bryant evens the game with a field goal. Bobby Rainey with a 43-yard run. Tampa Bay leads 10-3. Matt Ryan drops back to pass. Mason Foster with a pick 6. Tampa up 17-3, and Bobby Rainey with another rushing touchdown. Tampa Bay led Atlanta 24-6 at halftime. Third quarter, Mike Glennon with 2 passing touchdowns in the third quarter. Tampa Bay led 38-6. Buccaneers win 41-28. Mike Glennon and Bobby Rainey did well. You finally got Carl Nix, Jeremy Zouton, Devin Joseph, all playing well in the interior offensive line during the second half. It's true that Tampa Bay has no play at right tackle, but Donald Penn's been absolutely horrid at left tackle. Maybe you focus on shoring up the offensive tackle position this offseason if Mike Glennon continues to blossom this late in the season. It's really risky business because there's a lot of good quarterbacks in this draft class, but at the end of the day, if you think shoring up the offensive line is a bigger issue and you think Mike Glennon can hang in there another year, maybe you focus on that area first. Chargers-Dolphins, Miami won this game 20-16, and nothing really stood out. The special teams by Nick Novak and Caleb Sturgis at kicker was a treat to watch. 49ers, Saints took this game 23-20 with a last-second field goal by Garrett Hartley. New Orleans won this game because they held Colin Kaepernick to a 3-and-out. And the offensive line for San Francisco, especially Staley and Ayupati, they missed their assignments as the game ended. Rob Ryan did a really good job motivating these guys to continue to put pressure on Kaepernick, continue to play well in the clutch, and that's what the Saints did. So New Orleans won. Packers, Giants. Giants win 27-13. Easy victory for the Giants without Aaron Rodgers. Vikings, Seahawks. How would Percy Harvin do in his return? Harvin only had 1 reception for 17 receiving yards. Seattle won 41-20. Russell Wilson threw for 2 passing touchdowns, and Marshawn Lynch ran for 2 rushing touchdowns. Chiefs, Broncos, first quarter. Manning guides Denver downfield. Broncos had to settle for a field goal late in the first. Peyton Manning threw a 9-yard pass to Julius Thomas. Denver led 10-0 after 1. Second quarter, Alex Smith to Dwayne Bowe. Chiefs cut the deficit to 3. Monty Ball with a 1-yard rushing touchdown. 17-7 Broncos. Ryan Succop with a 20-yard field goal. 17-10 Broncos. Ball with another rushing touchdown. 24-10 at that point. Denver wins 27-17. Bottom line is Peyton Manning made the proper throws despite the fact that the Chiefs held the 1 passing touchdown. Nobody sacked Manning. Give Denver's offensive line some props because Ryan Clady's out for the year on IR, and you protect Peyton Manning. You make sure he doesn't get any hits. Plus, Denver's run defense stagnate in the box to stop the run. Kansas City relies on the running game to score because there are games where Alex Smith doesn't have any passing touchdowns or interceptions, and the Chiefs still win because they have the defense, they have the running game, they have the pass rush. They're able to force turnovers. They weren't able to do that against Peyton Manning in Denver. And so I was going to say Invesco Field, but that's not where they play anymore. They renamed the stadium. But yeah, Denver had the right game plan. They were prepared, and these teams meet again in Arrowhead Stadium in 2 weeks. After the Broncos go to Gillette Stadium, Wes Welker will attempt to get revenge on the Patriots. And it'll be fun because Carolina had a blast with New England. First quarter, Greg Hardy got by left tackle Nate Soldier to execute a sack on 3rd down. Critical sack, change of possession, and following series, personal foul on Aqib Talib. It sets up a Carolina touchdown. Talib had 2 personal fouls in the first half that enabled Carolina to take a 10-0 lead. And that's the thing with Aqib Talib. Sometimes he's just so sharp, he's so precise, so disciplined at cornerback. And then there are other times where he'll get cocky or he'll get careless, like the Atlanta game where he couldn't cover Tony Gonzalez, and he just celebrated because the team held Atlanta in the red zone, even though it was like they barely won the game. And that's the thing with Talib. Like, he had the penalties early in this game, and it cost the Patriots because Carolina took that 10-0 lead. Patriots would tie it at 10 with a field goal in the first half and a touchdown to start the second half. Following possession, Panthers ball. 3rd down, Cam Newton dodges 4 Patriots defensemen and scrambles for a 1st down. And it was impressive because Patriots brought the heat. It looked like 2 different guys were going to sack him, but he manages to dodge things, runs outside to the left, and gets the 1st down. Tom Brady to Shane Vereen, 1st down Patriots. Ridley ties the game with a rushing touchdown at 17. Patriots get a field goal in the 4th quarter and lead 20-17. Cam Newton to Ted Ginn Jr. Patriots gain the lead. Carolina leads 24-20. And last play of the game, Brady wants to throw to Rob Gronkowski. Luke Kuechly holds Gronkowski, and Carolina intercepts Brady as time expires. No penalty. Carolina wins. The Panthers win. Carolina gets their revenge on the Patriots after Super Bowl 38. Cam Newton is finally a guy that can say he's a franchise quarterback. The Panthers are 7-3. He was able to say that for years, but it's like he didn't have the victories to back that up. Like the first 2 years, he had the statistics with Rob Chudzinski. This year, Panthers get off to a 1-3 start, and then Cam Newton wins 6 in a row. He beats the Patriots on Monday Night Football at home, and you really have to wonder if Carolina is a legitimate contender for the Super Bowl now. I'm not going to sit here and say they are, but they've got the defensive line to rush the quarterback. We saw what they did against the Patriots. They've got the linebackers with Kuechly, Thomas, Davis, and if John Beason were still starting, it'd be pretty good too. But they benched Beason, and they're still winning games. They're making things happen. And the secondary, they don't have any big-name players, but the guys are covering well. They're very disciplined in zone coverage, and they're buying into Ron Rivera's cover 2 philosophy that he applied in Chicago when he was the Chicago Bears defensive coordinator. And he used a similar scheme in San Diego on Quentin Jammer and Antonio Cromartie. And the guys are buying into Rivera's scheme, even though there's no individual that stands out. It's a collected team effort. A lot of guys play in zone, and they're able to disable Brady from throwing the deep ball. by playing zone and preparing, you forced Brady to win with a short and medium passing game. And the plan worked. So check out our new website, the new redesigns, and let us know what you think for draftutopia.com, because I want to get this site up and rolling, get some new content up, and we're going to get this video up so you can watch on our site, and we'll start promoting it with social media. Get some other good articles in there as well. Maybe even an in-depth review of tonight's Patriots game with a little more analysis. It'd be less complicated to explain. Thanks for watching. Good night.